Korea, so I'm really glad that it only takes about 2 hours to get here. And I'm also like pretty happy with the food and the culture as well. So yeah, I'm super satisfied.
Ah, that's great. It's great to hear. Obviously we're gonna ask about Masters Tokyo. But first we just want to ask a few kind of smaller questions just to kind of get into things. So we just wanted to, first thing we want to ask is, who's your current favorite agent that you're playing?
일단 자잘한 걸로 시작을 하고, 지금 요즘에 하는 요원 중에서 가장 좀 좋아하는 요원?
요즘에는 좋아하는 요원 스카이를 픽하겠습니다.
Sky.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Bangovich,
Alright.
if you wanna, do you wanna go for it as well?
Yeah. Hello from my side, Stax. The next question we have for you is like, you've been part of the team
think
since
so.
the Vision Strikers days
But
and
if you wanna
therefore
ask a
been through a
question, go for
lot
it.
of changes.
Which
period
yeah, I mean,
of-
like,
Hmm?
I think we have like a general question regarding the team here during Masters Tokyo. So you guys played with Zest during the grand finals instead of Foxy9. Is that a long-term decision, or are you guys looking to bring him back for the upcoming matches?
아직까지도 정해진 거는 없고요. 저희도 좀 혼란이 없는 상황이기 때문에 어떻게 될지는 저희도 잘 모르겠습니다.
Nothing's said yet. We're still kind of trying to figure it out. So we don't really know what's exactly going to happen for Masters.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I think I fixed my mic. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, there we go. The next question I have for you, Stax. Could you imagine playing in another region, EMEA or Americas? And if yes, which region would you like to play in? And this is a question like always, like also for the future. It doesn't need to be like next year, but it could also be like in 5 years, just generally.
그냥 붙어보고 싶은 선수만.
아니요. 만약에 에이펙 말고 다른 지역 가서 선수로 뛸 수 있으면은 굳이 지금이 아니라 뭐 5년 뒤, 10년 뒤라고 했을 때 가서 좀 선수로 활동하고 싶은 리그가 있는지.
마음은 EMEA이지만 뭔가 이제 뭐라 해야 되지? 음식이나 이런 것들이 이제 미국이 좀 더 잘 돼 있을 것 같아서 미국을 선택하겠습니다.
I would choose Americas. I mean, my heart would say, go for EMEA, but in terms of food and everything, I just think Americas would be like a better region to play in.
And kind of following on from that, are there any, what do you think are the stylistic differences between the regions? And is there anything that you try and implement in your play in DRX that, from other regions that you see?
지역별로 좀 어떤 스타일 차이가 있는지, 그리고 좀 DRX가 거기서 아이디어를 가져와서 좀 기용해 볼 만한 게 있는지 물어봐요.
스타일을 따라해 보려고 한 적은 없고요. 그냥 캐릭터의 조합이나 이런 것들은 조금 본 적은 있었고요. 뭔가 그냥 나라별로 스타일도 얘기해 좀 좋겠다.
네.
그냥 뭔가 유럽은 뭔가 조금 더 잘 쏘는 것 같아요. 미국도 잘 쏘는 것 같고 모르겠어요.
그치?
네, 모르겠어요.
아시아보다? 아니면은
아시아도 잘 쏘죠. 그냥 잘 쏜다? 뭔가
네.
특별한 유니크한 스타일은 없다.
I wouldn't say there's like a distinct stylistic difference between the regions, but I would say like players in Americas and EMEA, they have good aim. They're cracked, I guess. But I'm just not saying that like APEC players can't shoot either. We have good aim as well. And I have looked into what the other regions are playing, like the comms and the agents and stuff, but I don't think I've tried to emulate how they play or kind of copy their style.
All right, thank you. Let me see. Okay, so there was an interview with Pancada a while ago where he kind of spoke about DRX being a bit like predictable in terms of their set plays and that kind of stuff. Would you agree to that? And what ways have you guys like tried to fix those problems?
일단은 한카다 선수가 한 말이 이해가 되는데 저희가 이제 아시아권에서 이제 스크림을 하다 보면은 엄청 공격적인 팀들이랑 많이 연습을 하다 보니까 조금 수비적으로 바뀌더라고 저희가 전진을 안 나가고 네, 그런 거를 이제 고치려고 노력을 했고 저희도 조금 변수를 주려고 노력을 했고요. 네, 뭐 그렇습니다. 변수 주려고 노력하고 있습니다.
Well, I understand where Pincata was coming from, but when we're screaming in APEC region, we're going up against and we're screaming up against a lot of aggressive teams, which kind of makes us be more defensive or passive. But we're trying to be more active and unpredictable, and we're still working on that.
In that kind of same area, in your practice while you've been in Japan or before in the APAC region, are there any teams that have kind of surprised you? Maybe some tier 2 teams in Korea, anyone that you've kind of gone, oh, I didn't expect them to be good, but they are.
그냥 저희가 잘한다고 생각하는 팀들은 잘했고 모르겠어요. 스크린을 많이 안 해와서.
We haven't really scrimmed a lot of teams yet, but nothing was like too left field. We weren't really that surprised. The teams that we predicted would be strong were strong, and teams that were mediocre were mediocre.
You guys are just too good. I wanted to kind of go through the kind of timeline of from the start of the year to where we are now. So in terms of lock-in, you did very well at lock-in, 3rd, 4th, losing to Loud in a close series. Were you happy with your performance overall?
네, 만족하지 않고 있고요. 만족은 절대 안 하고 있고요. 그리고 이제 이번 퍼시픽에서도 만족을 못했고요. 그냥 조금 방법을 빨리 찾아내야 될 것 같습니다.
No, not at all. I'm not satisfied with the results in the lock-in and how we performed, and for the Pacific as well. So I think we really need to find the key factor to boost our performance for Masters.
And do you think that at lock-in, the Brazilian crowd played any part in that in the Loud game, or do you think it was more down to things that you've got in your own team to sort out?
그냥 관중들 때문에 뭘
아니면은 그냥 팀 자체 경기력의 문제.
관중 문제는 전혀 아니었고요. 그냥 팀적인 게 좀 더 있는 것 같아요. 이것저것 트라이 본 것도 있고 원래 폭신한 선수를 기용하려고 했다가 제이스 선수로 바뀐 것도 있고 그냥 뭐 이렇게 돼서 그런 것 같아요.
No, not at all. The crowd had nothing to do with how we performed. It's just that we were testing stuff out as well, and coming into lock-in, we were actually trying to have Foxy 9 as our starting 5, and that changed in a very short term. So yeah, it was more on us, I would say.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, moving into VCT Pacific, how much of an adjustment?
We can hear you now. We got you now.
Okay. Moving into VCT Pacific, how much of an adjustment was it for the team to go from playing a high-pressure single elimination tournament like lock-in to a lower pressure like 8-week split where you have to play week in, week out? Was there like a big adjustment for the team, or yeah?
그리고 스케줄?
락인에서 싱글 엘리미네이션 하다가 퍼시픽은 리그제잖아요. 그래서 좀 적응하는데 힘들었는지 많은 차이가 느껴졌는지.
적응이라기보다는 뭔가 퍼시픽 리그에서 했던 스케줄은 좀 너무 그냥 팀들한테 힘들었던 것 같아요. 그냥 조금 스케줄적으로나 그러니까 뭔가 연습을 많이 하는 팀들한테는 엄청나게 힘든 스케줄이었고 연습 적게 하는 팀들한테는 할만한 거였던 것 같습니다.
I guess I want to say it has been a very tough schedule for the APEC region teams. It was a tight schedule, and obviously for teams that practice a lot and scrim a lot, it was really tough and it was taxing. But I guess for teams that don't practice as much, it was like a, I guess, relaxed schedule for them.
And thank you. And maybe as a follow-up, which schedule do you prefer? Like the lock-in, like the tournament style, or the weekly style, like playing one game a week?
그러면 락인 아니면 리그에서 뭐 일주일에 한 게임 정도 계속 오래 하는 게 더 좋은지 아니면 락인 때처럼 싱글을 이렇게 해서 토너먼트제로 가는 게 좋나요?
당연히 리그제가 좋긴 한데 힘들죠. 예.
Obviously, I would choose the latter, but it's still tough on the players.
Speaking of that Pacific League split, I know you mentioned before that you weren't super happy with your performance, but there were a lot of teams that improved a lot over the course of the split. Were there any teams that kind of surprised you going through that you thought might not be competitive, but they turned out to be?
그냥 퍼시픽에서 조금
놀라게 했던 생각보다 잘했던.
생각보다 잘했다고 생각하지는 그러니까 팀 시크릿 선수, 팀 시크릿 팀이 잘한다는 건 알고 있었는데 그냥 더 잘해서 조금 놀랐던 거 말고는 별로 없었던 것 같아요.
I would say Team Secret, because like I expected them to be a strong team, but they performed even better and they were even stronger than I expected. So yeah.
And just as a follow-up to that, with Team Secret, obviously the only loss you guys took in the regular season was to them, and it was kind of a shock, I think, to the rest of the world. You know, we've seen you guys dominate for so long. Was that just kind of an off day, or did they anti-strat really hard, or what was your kind of perspective on that?
그냥 게임적인 문제보다는 저희가 너무 정신적으로 피폐해졌어가지고 조금 쉽게 졌던 것 같고요. 그래서 그다음번에는 멘트 잡고 해서 이긴 것 같습니다.
We weren't really in a good headspace. I wouldn't say it was like something that had to do with the anti-strat or the gaming aspect of it. We really tried to get our mentality back and mentality reset. And yeah, I guess after that, we got our mental back and we were able to stay strong.
All right, thank you. A quick question again regarding Foxy9. Is the goal to have Foxy9 permanently on the main roster, or are you sticking with the 6-man rotating system?
이제 그 주전을 폭시9으로 바꿔 갈 건지 아니면은 6명이서 이렇게 돌아가면서 로테이션 할 건지.
근데 그것도 이제 감독이나 코치 형들의 이제 의견에 따라 가야 되는 거기 때문에 저는 의견이 조금 있긴 하지만 그거는 이제 저희가 선택할 권한은 없다고 생각합니다.
I guess it's up to the coaching staff. I do have my personal opinion on how we should run the roster and what we should do, but I don't think it's up to me, and I think it's up to the coaching staff.
Thank you so much. In the end of the Pacific split, obviously you guys went to the arena, and that was a great experience as a viewer. How did you find playing in an arena for the first time again since lock-in?
락인 이후로 이제 장충으로 옮겨서 좀 큰 경기장에서 했잖아요. 그런 경험이 좀 어땠는지.
그냥 진짜 마스터즈에서 하는 것 같은 느낌이었고 챔피언스랑 그래서 저희들한테는 좀 더 편했던 것 같아.
It was more comfortable for us because it kind of felt like we were playing at Masters or the Champions, you know, one of those big stage international tournaments. So yeah.
Yeah, great. And just as a quick follow-up to that, you guys played Paper X twice in the playoffs and lost to them both times. I know you're good friends with a lot of the guys on there. Do you enjoy playing against them, first of all? And what are your kind of takeaways from those losses? Do you think they've kind of figured you guys out and you guys need to change something up, or will you guys be okay if you play them again?
일단은 만나기 싫은 팀 중에 한 팀이고요. 너무 게임을 좀 거지 같아서. 그리고 이제 저희가 못했다라기보다는 그러니까 상대가 잘했다라기보다는 저희가 못한 게 훨씬 많고 내가 좀 너무 힘들어했기 때문에 지금도 현재 진행형이지만 그냥 그것만 조금 빨리 고쳐진다면 괜찮을 것 같습니다.
Well, actually, no, they're one of the teams that I do not want to go up against because they're really peculiar in their style. It's to the point where it's brutal, and I would like to avoid them as much as I can. And I think those two losses against Paper X, we weren't really in a good place mentally as well. So it was more on us rather than Paper X figuring us out.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, let's move on to the Masters Tokyo. You have arrived on the 6th of June, like a couple of days ago. How have you enjoyed the stay so far, and how is practice going in the little time you have so far?
연습은 어떻게 진행되고 있나요? 온 이후로?
그냥 늘 하던 대로 하고 있지만 네. 쏘쏘입니다.
It's so. I mean, everything is as usual. It's nothing different from other international tournaments.
And going into the tournament, your first game is going to be against ASE from China. Are you familiar with them? Have you played them before, in scrims? And what's your view on kind of Chinese Valorant as a region?
ASE라는 팀이랑 스크림을 엄청 많이 해봤고요. 그러니까 거기서 이제 한 선수가 이제 잘하면은 저희가 좀 힘들어지고 못하면은 엄청 쉽게 이기더라고요. 그 점을 좀 최대한 이용하려고 왔고요. 그리고 중국 팀 스타일 자체가 조금 너무 뭐라 해야 되지? 공격적인 게 많아서 페이퍼렉스 같은 느낌이 많아서 좀 조심을 해야 될 것 같습니다.
Well, yeah, we have screened them a lot. And I feel like there's one player on that team, when he's really feeling it on the day, it's like it becomes really, really tough to stop them. So we really need to contain that player, because when he's not performing or under delivering, then it makes it easier for us to win the games. So I guess we'll play that into them. And Chinese teams are basically very aggressive. So like Paper X, I would say. So we need to watch out for that aspect.
The other teams in your group are Evil Geniuses and Foot. How do you feel about those teams, hopefully going up against them? And are you confident that you can make it out of the group in 2 games like you normally do it at international events?
일단은 이번 대회만큼 뭔가 첫 경기에 이제 그쪽 조가 안 걸려서 정말 다행이라 생각하고요. 일단 빠르게 일단은 조금 저희가 회복을 해서 그 뭔가 이길 수 있다는 자신감을 가지고 임해야 될 것 같습니다.
Well, I mean, I'm super glad that I'm not on the other side. I'm not in their group. So yeah, thank God for that. And I feel like we really need to recover as a team and really bounce back to gain back the confidence that we need when we go through the group stages.
Thank you.
Assuming you guys make it out of group, are there any other teams you really want to play against at Tokyo, or just a favorite team you're looking forward to play?
좀 만나고 싶은 팀?
다 만나봐서 잘 모르겠는데 그냥 좀 그냥 안 만나보다 AS를 저는 선택했을 것 같아요.
I would choose ASC because it's the first time facing them in a tournament setting, and I think I have played against most teams here.
Are there any teams at the tournament that you really want a rematch against? I know you said not Paper X, but any other teams?
리매치? 저는 나중에 라우드랑 다시 한번 해보고 싶어요.
Loud, maybe later in the upper stages.
That makes sense. Thank you.
DRX, okay.
I was just going to ask about, you mentioned the mental aspect of it, and you feel that, some of the games you weren't in the right headspace mentally. Is that something that you've been working on for a long time, or is that kind of an issue that you've really, tried to narrow down recently?
그래서 좀 이제 정신적으로 선수들이 힘들었다고 했잖아요. 그래서 좀 오랫동안 이런 걸 해결하려고 노력을 했는지, 아니면 이게 좀 갑자기 힘들어져서 갑자기 해결하려고 하는 상황인지.
옛날부터 힘들어 했었긴 했는데 그게 이제 갑자기 더 크게 작용이 돼서 저희한테 걷잡을 수 없이 커진 것 같고요. 네, 그걸 이제 좀 고치려고 노력하는데 쉽게는 회복이 잘 안 되는 것 같습니다.
I mean, the mentality issue is something that we had for, I guess, a long time or for quite a while. But I guess it kind of escalated and exploded this time around. So we're trying to recover, but it's not that easy. It's easier said than being done.
Speaking of improvements, like DRX has been on the upwards trajectory since Masters Reykjavik. Basically, you have placed within the top 4 in the latest tournaments. Do you think you can continue to improve and possibly even win a title?
일단은 우승은 무조건 이번 연도에는 뭔가 할 것 같다는 느낌은 들었고요. 네, 모르겠지만 일단은 그냥 한번 해보겠습니다. 예.
Well, I personally have a feeling that we might just win an international title this year. I don't know very well. I don't know, but I'll try to make that happen.
And maybe as a follow-up to this, what do you think was missing in the last tournaments, which that you didn't make a grand final or didn't win a title? What do you think was missing?
훨씬 말하는 거죠.
네, 우승을 못했던 이유가 뭐였는지.
그냥 아까 말했던 멘탈적인 문제가 제일 큰 것 같습니다.
The mentality stuff, as I said before.
Champions this year is going to be in LA, and obviously you're in Tokyo at the moment. Are there any other countries that you want to play in for an international event?
일단 미국 처음 보는 거여서 일단은 굉장히 좋고요. 그리고 이제 다른 곳에 간다면 조금 경치가 좋은 유럽 쪽으로 가고 싶긴 해요.
This is my first time, actually. It will be my first time visiting the States, US. So I'm super excited for that. And if I could choose the next destination, I would say Europe, because, it's great for sightseeing. They have great views and sceneries.
If you could pick any team to win this trophy that wasn't you, obviously, who would you want to see go on and win the title?
나티.
Maybe more of a general question, but you have been part of DRX since Vision Strikers. Which meta was the most fun for you to play in? Because right now we have the Harbor Viper meta, which is for viewers at least a lot of things going on. So which did you enjoy playing the most?
스카이를 처음으로 저희가 썼을 때가 제일 재밌었던 것 같아요.
When we first decided to run the Sky, it was the most fun for me.
Thank you.
Since you became the IGL of the team last year, is there that kind of mental leadership? Do you think that's something you can still work on, or do you think that's kind of a team collective thing?
이제 스택스 선수가 IGL 하면서 좀 선수들을 이끌고 가야 되잖아요. 그래서 약간 이렇게 선수들을 이끌어가는 게 팀원 전체가 그거를 도와주고 있는지, 아니면은 스택스 선수가 더 열심히 해야 되는 건지.
반반인 것 같긴 한데 좀 그냥 어쩔 때는 그렇고 어쩔 때는 제가 더 많이 해야 될 때도 있고 어쩔 때는 반반이 갈 때도 그런 것 같습니다.
I would say it's 50-50. Sometimes I really need to step up as the captain of the team and also the IGL, and other times the teammates also need to do their share as well.
Well, thank you very much. I think that's all we've got time for today, but thank you very much for answering all of our questions. And yeah, thank you so much. And good luck. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Good luck in the tournament.
Yes.